Hi guys, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so grateful and honored to finally be making a video for you guys. This is something that I felt guided to do for a very long time now, and I've just been putting it off for all the reasons under the sun. But I'm here now, and I know that it's divine timing because for my first video, I'm going to be talking about Trump, as you can probably see. And yeah, I wouldn't have been talking about that for my first video if I had done this any sooner. So I'm here now, and I know that this is the message that needs to get out to you at this time. I channeled this download from my guides this past week, and I channeled the title of the video this past week, which is something along the lines of "We are not victims of Trump," or "We are not Trump's victims." And I know that's a very triggering title, and probably half of you are only watching this video because of the title, but I think that was my guide's intention, and I trust source, so I know that it's all for the greatest good. I never share anything or post anything or would tell you guys anything if it wasn't in the highest interest or best interest of all involved. So just keep that in mind. I'm a little nervous because this is my first video and I don't really know what I'm doing and I don't have a plan. So I'm just kind of freestyling, and that's usually where I thrive. Once I get in the flow, I'm pretty hard to get to shut up. So yeah, we're just gonna see where this video takes us. However, I do have a kind of one specific download that I want to share with you guys about Trump. Okay, so I had kind of an incredible weekend. The first half of the weekend, I faced a fear, I confronted some baggage, and my vibration kind of catapulted to the top. I like to describe it as a ankle weight, like in an ocean or a body of water, and you're wearing ankle weights. And every time that you confront a fear or a person in your life that you might have some tension with or some baggage to clear there, or a fear, anything of that nature, anytime that you do the spiritual awakening work, you release those ankle weights and you rise to the top of that body of water. So that's exactly what happened to me in the beginning of my weekend. I had a specific thing that I needed to confront, and I had been putting it off. And I like to describe spiritual awakening as a video game, and there's all these different bosses that you need to defeat. And some of those bosses are big bosses, and other ones are still challenging, but just not as intense as the big bosses. And lucky for me, or not very lucky for me, because I don't think anybody gets off easy with spiritual awakening. It's a pretty tough and dark experience for us all, but also so beautiful and so bright. But in 2018, I kind of got those big bosses out of the way and kind of confronted the big meat of all of the bosses that I needed to defeat and confront. But I had the biggest thing that was blocking me from moving forward in my awakening and just raising my vibration was a conflict that I had with a friend. And I heard a voice on Thursday as I was going into this 3-day weekend, and I was almost done with my shift, and I heard a little voice that said, "Ashley, you should confront," or it didn't say you should because it never tells you what to do, but it said, if you confront this conflict with this friend now, before you go into the weekend, then you can be of the utmost assistance to all that surrounds you this weekend. And basically, this inner guidance voice was kind of insinuating that this weekend I would need to be in tip-top shape based on the experiences that I was going to go experience. So I didn't really know at the time why I needed to be so light and at the top of my game with my frequency. But I trusted it, I always do. And yeah, I confronted the friend. We kind of neutralized that energy, figured out what to do moving forward there. And immediately my intuition spiked. That voice was 10 times more clear after that, and I was getting downloads like crazy. So the next day that I went into the ocean, not the ocean, I wish. I went into Lake Michigan, and I submerged myself in water, and that was the first time that I've done that this year, and it felt like a baptism and a renewal, and it was just really super beautiful, and that definitely helped keep me in the 5D. Also, yeah, so I had a couple of really great soul conversations with several friends, and yeah, I had a party to go to Saturday night. So I'm just going to kind of fast forward. I don't want to make this video super long. So I had a party to go to on Saturday night, and that morning I was meeting a new friend, and actually we were just having, it was like one of those experiences where you just click with somebody right off the bat, and it was so beautiful and so high vibrational, and I was really in the flow, and I could have talked all day, and I lost track of time. It was just so wonderful and so high vibrational, and I was feeling a lot of like cosmic euphoria, which is just like when you do the work and you vibrate high, you really do feel like euphoria, and it's awesome and totally worth going through the dark to get to that light. And so I was just having the best weekend, and I had this party to go to later. And the last couple weekends before this past weekend, I was visiting family, and we weren't drinking. So I wasn't drinking alcohol for 2 weeks, and I didn't even mean to do that, but I kind of noticed that I felt pretty good not drinking. And then I almost decided to drink, because when you're the only person at a party that's not drinking, sometimes it's a really uncomfortable experience, I'm not gonna lie, at least in certain circles, in certain parties, So I kind of was on the fence about it, and that was the dark trying to get to me, get me more vulnerable and weak and susceptible for psychic attacks. But I met with these friends that Saturday morning, and they kind of were telling me stories about alcohol, and one of them was telling me how he had been sober because he was a recovering alcoholic, and I just felt like, okay, this is my sign to not drink tonight, so I didn't. So I was vibrating so high, and then after this morning, I had to get ready to go to this party, and then I was going to this party. And immediately I felt a sense of dark energy around me. There was a lot of darkness at this party. Some of the people at this party had very dark attachments that I was super aware of, because the higher that you vibrate, if you go into the 5th dimension or higher, you look down and you can see everything really clearly. And right now there is a spiritual war going on right beneath our noses, but most of us can't even see it because we're not vibrating high enough to see it. But I was vibrating super high all weekend, and so it was very clear to me the darkness in the room and where the dark attachments were. And I started to have dark thoughts, and I started to feel psychically attacked. And yeah, I was smoking weed, so I was high, and it was making everything even more intense. I was very hyper aware, and I was the only one in the room not drinking, so even my partner that was with me, he was completely drunk, and it felt like I wasn't even able to properly communicate with him at the time, so it was a little bit of an intimidating and challenging experience for me. Now, while I was at the party, and here's where we're going to start talking about Trump. That day, Saturday, was a day where I think Trump's little brother, who is 72, passed away. It just so happened to be the same day. And somebody in the room read that from their phone, like TMZ posted, like, Trump's brother dead at 72. And somebody in the room shouted, Trump's brother died today, guys. And then they were like, eh, and everybody just started screaming and cheering and toasting each other and pouring shots of alcohol. And I don't know if it was everyone in the room, but I do know that it seemed like it was everyone in the room except for me and my partner, and I was just quiet and sad. And you know what actually I actually channeled this early. What actually came up for me during that experience was shame and guilt. And why would I be ashamed or guilty at the time? It came up for me because I have so been somebody in the past who sent Trump hate. Maybe I wasn't celebrating over the death of his brother, but in the past I have so been someone who sent Trump hate frequencies, who judged him without really knowing anything. And I can forgive that person, you know, but that was wrong of me. That was not high vibrational of me. That was not unconditional love. It was hard for me, it was really hard for me to see that. It was hard for me to see so many of my friends and people that I love and react this way to the death of Trump's brother. Because, first of all, that's not even Trump. That's his brother. And I don't know anything about his brother. Like, I don't know if you guys do, but I don't, and this guy lost his life. And Donald Trump, contrary to popular belief, he's a human being, and he has a soul, and he has feelings, and he cries, and he experiences pain and love. And so now we're going to celebrate that he's feeling pain and grief and his heart is broken. We're going to rejoice in someone's despair. And it just felt all kinds of wrong. And it felt like the darkness had won. And after that point of the party, it only got worse from there. Several terrible, dark things happened at this party, and people showed up that were very dark and are very consumed in the darkness, and I'm glad that I left when I did, because I heard that it got ugly or even after I left. So yeah, it was kind of a hard experience to be in, but I knew in that moment that I came to this party. It wasn't a mistake that I came to this party. I was supposed to be here to raise the frequency, to raise the vibration of this collective group. I was put here to hold light. And there was a few other people there that were clearly there holding light for this very dark space. Anyway, the point is, I'm gonna be pretty straight up with you guys. This is just how I feel. This is just my truth. I am totally compelled to share this with you today because I feel like humanity needs to know this message. Because we are living in a very crucial time on planet Earth. We are in the midst of a spiritual war between light and dark. And it is happening, even if we refuse to acknowledge it. There is a war between light and dark. And the way that the light will win this war, World War III, taking place right now. The way that the light will win this war is by raising our vibrational frequencies. And how do you do that? You confront your baggage. You get rid of the hate. You get rid of all those low vibrational things within you. You don't even get rid of them. It's that you balance them. You transmute them. You release. You confront. You stand in your power and you shine your light. And basically the download that I got is that as long as all of you or any of you hate anyone else or anything else, as long as you have that level of resistance towards anything in your life, or anyone. You will not ascend, and you cannot ascend. And right now, ascension is upon us, and we need to ascend as fast as possible. It is urgent. And so I'm using Trump as the example because I think it would be pretty safe to say that he's probably the most hated person on the planet. And as long as we all hate him, we cannot get rid of that ankle weight, and we cannot float to the top of that body of water. We must love everyone. We must have compassion for all beings. Sorry, there's a fly. And I'm talking about the serial killers. I'm talking about the sociopaths. I'm talking about anyone that's betrayed you. Anyone that's hurt you. We must neutralize all of that energy. We must forgive. We must love them anyway. And we have to do that in order to save the planet. We have to do that in order to win this war. We have to do that in order to save the children. And so that is my motive. That is my motivation. That is my push to stand here in my power today and tell you that I love Trump. I have compassion for him. I have unconditional love for him. Me. It's true. And I'm going to come out and say that, and I'm going to emit that frequency out into the collective conscious. Because that is what we need to do to save the children, and that is what we need to do to save ourselves. And I'm doing this because I love you. I love you enough to stand in my power here and to admit this to you and to be hated for it and to be judged for it. I'm going to tell you something, and maybe this will help you understand a little bit more. Okay? There's a fly in here, so sorry if I'm just swatting. Everyone on the planet is a reflection of us. And anything that exists in another is something that in turn exists within ourselves. So, what do you hate about Trump? What is it about him that irritates you? Chances are, that very same thing that irritates you about him exists within yourself. I know that's not the most fun thing to hear, but it's ego death. And it's essential for your awakening, and your ascension, and your freedom. When you can look in the mirror and say, holy shit, we're all the same. And we have all been someone like Trump, or someone like the idea of Trump that you have in your head, because no one really knows who Trump is and what's true and what's fake and what the media has completely lied and twisted about him, or what is actually true. But the idea or the image of Trump that exists within your mind, whatever it is about that image that irritates you, chances are that actually absolutely that exists within you. So let's do a little example, okay? So let's say one thing that is common is that people say that Trump is a bully, right? He's a bully. Well, I made a post a month ago or so, and there was like 20 bullet points about the Great Awakening and what's really going on, and 2 out of like 20 of those bullet points painted Trump in a positive light. And it wasn't even like the craziest, most positive thing. It was just like, it painted him in a little bit of a, he could be saving these children light. And I can't tell you the amount of hate that I received from this post. DMs, comments, laugh reacts. It was crazy. I was completely attacked for posting a 20 bullet point post about other things too, and people ignored the 18 other points and only focused on these 2 bullet points that say Trump could possibly even be a good person, or possibly could even have a heart. Even have a heart. It's not even that he's a good person, that he has a heart. Like, that triggers people to no end. So anyway, people say Trump's a bully, right? Well, probably most of those people that were attacking me on my post, people say that Trump is hateful. Yet those same people were bullying me and being hateful to me for posting something that painted Trump in a positive light. So how are you different than Trump if you're quick to attack someone on social media for having a positive judgment of him, or even saying, I don't know, but maybe this is true, maybe this is not? Because what I posted, it wasn't like, I'm a Trump supporter, guys, like I totally support everything Trump does. Like, it wasn't even that. It was, Trump could possibly have a heart. That was the vibe. And I can't tell you how attacked I got. It was unreal. And when you talk about Trump in a conversation with anyone, especially in Chicago, it isn't even, you don't even feel safe. You don't even feel safe to say you don't know. You don't even feel safe to say, I don't know everything, and I don't know if the media is lying to me or not, and I don't know if he's saving the children or he's not. You don't even feel safe to, the only thing you feel comfortable saying is, oh yeah, fuck Trump, I hate him. Because that's the only safe thing to say. Or else you might get attacked, or you might even get hit, or you might even really not be safe. You might even get killed in Chicago for saying anything positive about Trump. We are so quick to judge others. We are so quick to think that we know everything and others don't. It doesn't matter if Trump is part of this pedophile ring, or if Trump is secretly saving these children and that was why he even wanted to be president in the first place. It doesn't matter. The facts don't matter. It's none of our business. All of that's going to come out probably by this time next year, if not way sooner than that. So don't worry, guys. And if you guys do find out that Trump is, they completely lied about him and he completely was just saving the children, if you guys find that out, it's going to bring you to your knees with the guilt that you feel for how much you hated him. Because I went through it. I went through the realization that I hated someone that much. And even if, and I still don't know if he's the villain or the hero. I don't. Not 100%, no. But I do know that I hated him. And I do know how low vibrational that feeling felt and how sick I was because I had hate inside me, within me. And it wasn't just Trump, you know, it was other people in my life too. There was a lot of hate in my heart. And I got rid of it. I got rid of all the hate. I want you to know how important it is right now to have a high vibrational frequency. We are all part of a collective conscious, right? We are all very important pieces to a big master puzzle. And everything within us creates the projection of what the planet's state is currently. So we actually created Trump. We created a reality where Trump is our president. And we need to take responsibility for that. And that is why the title of this video is We Are Not Trump's Victims, or We Are Not Victims of Trump. Because we have to take responsibility that we created in a reality where Trump was our president. For one reason or another, maybe a reason that we can't understand at this time, but for whatever reason, we created Trump as our president, and maybe in the grand scheme of things, that's what we needed for the highest good of all involved in the end game. We are not victims of anyone. Our reality is completely 100% a result of what's going on within us. So if you have a lot of hate inside your heart, then you're going to manifest a lot of hate in your life. And if you're going to feel like a victim in every situation, then you're going to manifest more situations that you feel victimized in. Or you can understand, there's another choice here, okay? There's another option. Or you can understand that we've all been Trump. We've all been bullies. We've all been the villain in someone's story. We've all been hateful. And if not in this lifetime, in many past lifetimes were we the serial killers, were we the dictators, were we the evil villains. Souls evolve. We start out as baby souls. We were dark entities. We start out, we do all the dark shit. We expand through our lessons, and we evolve. So to see Trump as not one with us, it's false. It's an illusion that we've created. We are all one. And we are all created from the same source consciousness. And we are all capable at some lifetime or some point in a lifetime or another to decide to go into the light, to decide to heal, to decide to let go of the baggage, to decide to step into our power and free ourselves. And that is what I'm doing with this video. I am standing in my power, and I am freeing myself from the matrix. Because the old Ashley, even a couple of weeks ago Ashley, even a couple of days ago Ashley, would be scared. Too scared of what people would say. Too scared of how people would judge me. Too afraid to be canceled. Too afraid for my friends to distance themselves from me. But guess what? I lost friends. I've lost family. I've been canceled. I've been killed for being powerful in other lifetimes. And I'm done with it. Because it's not doing our collective any favors. The more that I stay trapped in this, oh, I don't want to upset anybody, oh, I don't want to piss anyone off, or I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. The more that I do that, the more I am not free. The more that I am not free, guess what I'm projecting onto the world? A world where we are not free. And guess what? We're not. And we've been in prison for a very long time. A very long time. And the more that so here's the thing, is it should be enough. It should be enough, but we are so programmed not to love ourselves. But it should be enough for me to make this choice, to make this video, because I love myself. But guess why I made this video? Guess what the push was that got me to jump off all the ledges? It wasn't even self-love. I understand, and this is a download that I've been getting heavily lately, that every choice that we make as individuals that are playing a part of this collective humanity, this collective consciousness, every single choice that we make is deciding our fate. The stakes are so high, too high. The children's lives are at stake. If we want to free the children, we need to free ourselves first. We need to vibrate higher. We need to rise above. And I do love myself. And if I can't love Trump, then I can't love myself. If I can't love some guy that my friend said did something terrible to him or to her, then I can't love myself. We need to love all beings. We need to have compassion for all beings, and we need to stop judging. Once we do that, we will thrive. A lot of us don't know how sick we feel day to day. A lot of us don't know what true happiness even is. True freedom. A lot of us don't even know what true freedom even feels like. I'm here to tell you that a new earth is well on its way, and the light has already won this war in another timeline. We are just catching up. But in order to bring in the new earth, and for us all to stand together, united in love as one, we need to stop the hate. It feeds the darkness. But you know what feeds the light? Standing in your power, loving and accepting yourself, and showing it off. It feeds the light. And the dark, it doesn't stand a chance to the light. Love always wins. So I'm not here to judge my friends for cheering for Trump's brother dying. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to judge you if you still feel hate, or you hate me, or you can't understand. I'm not here to judge. But I'm here to tell you that I love you. And that it's crucial that we raise our frequency at this time. And my guides, and my interdimensional family, and my higher self, our mission is to assist you in raising your frequency at this time, and to hold space and light and love for you during this time. And it won't be easy, I'm not gonna lie to you. The only way to the light is through a dark tunnel, and there's gonna be more chaos. But I'm here for you, and I'm a safe place of unconditional love and support. And speaking is my thing, and I'm so happy to have done it tonight, and I'm so glad that I made this video. And even if it's not received well, I love you. I fucking love you guys. Alright guys, I'm gonna leave it at that. And I'm just planting some seeds, and you can water them if you'd like, or just leave them be. But even if you don't resonate with this at this time, first of all, you're watching this video for a reason. And second of all, there may come a time in the next 6 or 7 months that you remember this. And I want you to know that even in 6 months, if you come to me and tell me, hey, actually, you know what? Maybe I should have listened to that. I will say, it's okay, you're here now. And we're so patient. This is your journey, and this is your process. And yeah, I can wait all day. It's not my business how fast you wake up. I'm just here to plant the seeds. Alright guys, and with that I'll leave you. I love you. Thank you for listening.